Every time I wear glasses, I feel like I'm part of the fighting nerds. Speaking of the fighting nerds, Carlos Prates, Mauricio Rufi, Carlo Bohario, Lord Silver, I always forget his name, but there's something happening in the UFC. And as Ariel Helwani said, that they might be having a star problem. I mean, look no further. There's the fighting nerds that are, I think, currently undefeated in the UFC, which is an insane phenomena. And they're exciting that the next big thing, I mean, Carlos Prates is my favorite fighter in there. Dude puts people to sleep, like knocks out everybody and everything that he sees. So that's something that the UFC can leverage because they do say that they have a star issue. And now I'm just currently looking at the P4P rankings, and one day I'll know what pound for pound means because Alex Pereira dropped 5 places. That's insane. There's no way. Because Anka Live is 6 now, and then Makhachev is still 1, which I'm not really going to argue with because he's probably pound for pound. But I feel like Alex should be number 3, but they do this thing of, I think, the top 7, assuming that the 7 divisions, each and every one of them is a champion, except for Pantoja, which is probably because lack of activity or whatever it is. So it's Islam, it's John, it's Ilya, who actually moved up, and there's Marab, Trikas, Magomed, Bilal, Alex Pereira, and then Pantoja. Oh, Tom Aspinall is also there because he's the current interim champion and they don't want to give him a title shot. Speaking of that, I'm not sure how I feel about it because, one, we love John Jones, but John Jones is a man without the English bundles, is a man that is not one to shy away from controversy. But if you're a champion and there's an interim title, the next logical thing is to unify the 2 titles. But he feels like Tom hasn't fought enough champions. But that's not how it works though. But he's earned the right to say he can retire if he doesn't want to defend because he's holding up the division. But they said there's a fight in the summer. They just need to figure out the logistics of it. I really hope they make a fight or he vacates or whatever, because now the Alex Pereira fight is probably delayed, not out of the picture. And yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. And then Volk is P11, Leon Edwards is 12, Max Holloway is 13, Sean O'Malley is 14. No idea why, but okay. Charles Oliveira is number 15. And looking at the divisions, right, going back to the topic of the UFC has a star problem, kind of makes sense. I mean, Alexandre Pantoja, I love watching him fight. I like what he did against that new up-and-comer person. I need to find his name. So his last fight, he fought. Bear with me. This is YouTube. It's not. He fought Kai Asakura and he submitted him. So Kai Asakura was coming from a division in Japan, and I guess they just wanted to feed Pantoja a name. I'm spilling my peanuts. A name, and then yeah, he felt disrespected because the UFC went outside to get someone to fight him. And what did he do? He took care of him, took him out in the 2nd round. But they did say the guy doesn't have a convincing ground game. So what did the champion do? He did what champions do. And then Marab Dvalishvili. I mean, his social media is growing. People love him. People can argue that he doesn't have the most exciting fighting style in the UFC because, you know, we want to see knockouts. We want to see fancy jiu-jitsu. One can argue. But you don't want to see wrestling where there's barely any ground and pound, or there's no transitions to get chokes and whatnot. And there's Ilya Tuporia, which is, he vacated, but until the title is fought for, there's technically no champion at featherweight because he's moving to lightweight, citing that he's tired of cutting the weight, it's too much, and he wants new challenges. I mean, if you can knock out Max Holloway and Alex the way that you did, I feel like it warrants you to ask for whatever you want. Yes, people are going to say, but there's Movza Evloev, there's Diego Lopez. Who cares? He has knockout power. He went, toe-to-toe with Josh Emmett, who took him the distance, but he pieced him up. It was like a masterclass in boxing. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Topuria can do whatever he wants. He's a star. If the UFC wants to go to Spain, Topuria is probably going to fill out that arena. If they want to go to Georgia, there's Marab and Topuria as well. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. And I guess the UFC wants a star that's going to translate to wherever we go. It has to sell out. But that's neither here nor there. And then the lightweight division, Islam Makhachev, the boy from Makhachkala. He's a star. I feel like he's a star. His fights are exciting. He's constantly evolving. His striking is incredible now. And his ground game is second to none. I mean, he took out Moicano like it was nothing. He took out Moicano as if the UFC was disrespecting him. He took out Moicano like he was playing with his food. Did it even go to the second round? I don't think so. Islam Makhachev. Assuming they're just supposed to pop up the record, but they're not going to do that because Google is annoying. But you took him out in the... They're not telling me. It's fine. We'll be back. And then the welterweight division, where it is currently ruled by Belal, remember the name, Mohammed. Again, star problem. Belal doesn't have a single, is it finish or knockout? Or an emphatic knockout, an emphatic finish, or emphatic submission. People just love to hate him. I don't know why. I think he's a great fighter. Is his style boring? Probably. But I can't hate him. I like fighting. So whatever it is that you need to do to win, do it. I'm zoning out, man. Okay. Back to it. Dricus du Plessis, hailing from South Africa. He's taken up the division by storm. I mean, middleweight should be fine in terms of, I mean, Dricus has the potential to be a star, but if you ask a South African, it's hard to relate to him because he doesn't represent half of the culture in South Africa. Or it at times feels like he's out of touch with the reality of the country, but that's neither here nor there. That actually is leaning towards being political, and we're not here to do that. But does he have the potential to be a champion? Of course. Not a champion, an exciting fighter, yes. Chimaev as well. His antics in and outside of the octagon. How quickly he finishes fights. How quickly he makes people look like they don't belong in there with him is incredible. I mean, he took out Whitaker the way that he did. But the problem is activity. Because if you're going to be a champion, you need to defend the belt a lot. But you always lean towards the guy that has momentum. Dricus has momentum. So does Chimaev. I mean, you put away Gilbert Burns. You put away Kamaru Usman. You put away Kevin Trailblazer Holland, right? Yeah. You took out Robert Whitaker like it was nothing. So that's the next start to make. But if only he gets his ish in order and makes weight and yada yada yada. And then Magomed Ankalaev in the light heavyweight division, deemed to be a boring fighter, but the past fight I thought Alex won. It was a really close fight. I wasn't really too mad that they gave it to Ankalaev as well. But does he become face of UFC or face of the light heavyweight division? I don't know. I mean, you become the face of the light heavyweight division by having the belt. So that's neither here nor there. and the heavyweight division where John Jones is currently the champion. And if he strays away from controversy, then he has the potential to be a star. I mean, he's a star already. He was a star when he was 23, but he's almost on his way out. So you can't even bank on making him the superstar that he used to be because he's young. So it's time to make space for more talent, but that's just not happening. And looking at the women's division, I mean, there's only like what, 3 divisions? And Zhang Weili has captured the Chinese market. Valentina Shevchenko is your fighter's favorite fighter. And there's Juliana Pena in the bantamweight. I like her antics. I hate them to a point that I like them because she wants to be this heel that says cringeworthy stuff or says things that are not necessarily true, which makes you pop. And you need to have some sort of gimmick, right? I guess. Even if sometimes it gets a bit delusional, but Ariel was right. I don't see a champion that can catapult the UFC to the status that it used to have when GSP was there, when Anderson Silva was there, when Conor McGregor was fighting, when John Jones was John Jones. I mean, John Jones is still John Jones, but when the rivalry with DC was there, where Edson Barboza was knocking people out with spinning heel kicks. So it's interesting. I mean, as a fan, do I really care? I mean, I'm still gonna watch the fight. I mean, Vettori is fighting he's fighting Dolidze this weekend. I'm gonna watch that fight because I'm a super fan. But the UFC is a business. They're always trying to grow. They're always trying to capture as much of the audience as possible. And the only way to do that is to be marketable and to have superstars that are going to reach different territories, new territories, so that they can keep expanding. And currently, there's no star that can do that. That is a champion. So, Mr. Helwani, you are definitely right. And that is it. Let me know what you guys think about this whole lack of star power or the pound for pound rankings that are very weird, and the fighting nerds. Peace.